So a document was leaked in 2001. You think about that, that's, 24 years ago. So what this document is, it was leaked from NASA. It used to be published on their website. So here we go. It was created by Chief Scientist, NASA Langley Research Center. What is it? We're going to go through it. It's like over 100 pages. But it's nice because it's in a slideshow. So I'm going to open it and we'll go through it. So what is it? Future Strategic Issues, Future Warfare circa 2025, Capabilities of the Enemy After Next, Ongoing Worldwide Technological Revolutions, Economic Trends, Potential Nature of Farther Term Warfare. Farther Term Warfare. Jeez. So what is it? Session 1, Future Strategic, Dr. Jern, blah, blah. Captain Psychopath. Here we go. Let's take a look at it. You can download it. It's a couple places on the web. It's all a legit document. Pretty amazing. Let's take a look. Future Strategic Warfare, Future, blah, blah, blah. So the bots, Borgs, and humans welcome you to 2025 AD. So what's AD? After death of Christ. Okay, this presentation is based on Future's work with the, look at that, National Research Council, Army, look at all these wonderful people. DARPA, blah, 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 blah. Okay, this presentation is meant to incite thought. Discussion is based in all cases upon existing data, trends, analysis, technologies, no pixie dust. Proves in some cases a somewhat broader view of prospective developments and issues. Utilization, application of 2025 projections. Inputs to future warfighting concept developments, enemy after next, and blue. This is all wordy, weird stuff that has to be examined in layers. Inputs to new procurement decisions, 15 plus years to produce, 40 plus years in inventory. Heads up for Intel community, watches and warnings. Inputs to DOD, research and development planning. Going in assumptions. Politics does change overnight. Russia, Iran, Iraq, Pakistan. Potential capabilities is the future warfare issue. Not who, but what. Wordy. Sounds like it's about citizens and people. Need to plan differently. World is in the throes of triple exponential IT bio-nanotechnological revolutions. Changes occurring at scales of months instead of decades. Zeroth order potential effects upon defense, offense equipment, CanOps threat, spaceship and Earth. Plundering the ship's supplies. Tinkering with the temperature and life support controls. Still looking for instruction manual. Engineering in bloody skirmishes in every corner of the vessel. So they're talking about the Earth. Increasing the size of the crew by 2 million per week. Really? Well, there's something called God and Mother Earth, i.e. Mother Nature, who decides who will stay and who will go. Not man. Humans have taken over and vastly shortened evolution of the planet. Global warming, pollution, deforestation, huge public work. 3 Georges Dam. Of the human species, genomic design and repair, mind children. Products, life forms, cross-species, molecular breeding, directed evolution. They're talking eugenics and splicing humans with rocks, which is nanotechnology and metals, and other life forms, i.e. insects. This is the abomination of the desecration, which is the desolation of Earth. And this is actually referenced in the Bible. You can't play God. Currently, order of 70% of world's research conducted outside of U.S. to first order a percentage of GDP, U.S. procedures, order of 18% of world's GDP, order of 70% of U.S. research now commercial as opposed to government-sponsored. Nanotechnology research. This is mind-blowing. This came out in 2001. Technological ages of humankind, hunter-killer groups, agriculture, industrial, IT, bio, nano, and virtual. So what, we're going to go into a virtual reality and be put into a coma and our brains hooked up, just like in the Matrix? I mean, that's what it's about, right? This is bent. Hunter-gatherer, nature-provided, agriculture, controlled nature, plants, animals, industrial, mechanized agriculture, IT, bio, nano, automating industrial agriculture, virtual, robotization of IT, bio, nano, industry, agriculture. This is what literally Eric Carlstrom had made reference to, the robotization of the human race. Robotizing everybody. Wow, there it is. NASA. Key future technologies, all highly synergistic at the frontiers of the small in a feeding frenzy off of each other. Wow. Silicon, bio, optical, quantum, nanocomputing, no end in sight. Another blah blah to the power of 10, virtual reality, holographic, immersive, ubiquitous communications, hyperspectral sensors, and virtual presence. Automatic, robotic everything. Huge cost reduction. Lifespan doubling. Genetic engineering before birth. That means they want to play with a baby as it's forming in the womb. What do they call that? In vitro. That means inside you're going to manipulate God's creation. You're damned. You're damned. That's the final temple. You're violating the final temple. Wow. Carbon nanotube, 600 times strength to weight of steel. Assemblers, living factories, huge cost reduction. I mean, this sounds like a corporation talking about productivity, elimination of some products that aren't producing, and keeping some products as long as they can modify them. These are human beings we're talking about. This is bent. Computing, sensors, electronics, commercial, IT, research and development, 100 billion a year. Factor of 1 million further improvements, silicon, molecular, quantum, beyond human AI, automatics, robotics in the large. This is all talking about, dare I say it? Look at this. Impacts of ongoing IT revolution upon society, IT status. They want to get rid of people. Wearable, implantable, on-person electronics, computer, sensory augmentation, health monitoring, and brain stimulation. Look at that. 2001, they knew what they were going to do. AI and beyond computing. Human brain characteristics, capabilities. 100 billion neurons, 100 trillion connections, 200, calculations per second, slow speed of neural circuitry, 200 billion. I mean, this is machine capabilities, because clearly a machine is better than humanity, right? I mean, insanity. Human Brain Project. Begun in the early 90s, funded by 16 organizations across 5 agencies. National Institutes of Health, NSF, DOD, NASA, DOE. Otherwise known as neuroinformatics. There's a new word. Neuroinformatics. Exploding field. Oh, this sounds like, theft of a person's mind. You can't do that. I mean, that's like eugenics. Imagination engine, otherwise known as creative machine, creative agent. New ideas, concepts, train, dream, captivate. Worldwide economy. Our ability to create wealth is not bound by physical limits, resources, but by our ability to come up with new ideas. Global problem solution. Energy, water, serious problems, food, land, population growth, wealth generation, polluting, warming, killer solutions, app solutions, motivational, inexpensive, web-based, acrosynamous, distance learning, biomass, food via seawater, irrigation in current wastelands. Look at this. This is all warfare on humanity. changing people. By 2025, 40% of private and 15% of public colleges and universities are expected to close due to web-based competition. Not yet. They just keep bringing in people into the countries and creating, another body. So in this same breath, they're complaining about too many people, and then they're complaining about not enough or to sustain them. Is that it? Northern VA businessman recently donated $100 million to set up a free Ivy League class online university. Like, this is 25 years ago they wrote this up. The ultimate education approach. Direct silicon device connection to the brain, very rapid, uploads education in minutes instead of many years. What about the experience that God put us on this planet to learn and interact with the sensations that we were given through creation? Sight, sound, touch, smell. That's how we're intended to learn, is to interact with our environment with all of our sensations. That's how it's supposed to be. Advantages of shallow sea desert production of biomass via seawater irrigation. Probable circa societal changes. Major emerging law enforcement issues. Particular concern. Self-replication. Uncontrolled, uncontrollable self-replication or brilliant robots, IT, nano replicators, nano, rampant recombinant bio. Well, that brings me back to the chimeras and something that Lisa had found, which is ATTB-1, and that's chimeras within genetic changes through radio frequency, which I will reference right away in here. This is how this is all coming together. Brilliant robots, nanoreplicators. Look at this. Just look at this. Research deficits. Nano. Multipolar economic world. Biorevolution applications. Pharma animals. Drugs. Spare parts. Yep. We're growing extra organs now in the lab. It's crazy. Spider genes in goats allow spider milk spinning from the goat milk for biosteel. Yeah, you guys know about this. Everybody knows about the spider goats, right? So they did genetic splicing where these goats are producing basically spider's milk instead of milk, and they can weave it into like a Kevlar. It's like Kevlar, and it's impenetrable. It's like super spider web steel. I mean, it's like stuff dreams are made of. Sounds great, but you just created an abomination of one of God's creations. So whoever originally did that is cursed. You're cursed. You messed with God's creation. You're not God. You think you know better than God. You're just creating abominations within the genetic codes of living creatures. They're sentient beings. They're sentient. Wow. I mean, carbon nanotubes, it's all here. All the stuff that, we've been talking about that has been interacting with stuff that we've been researching and that some targets have litigated for, such as Luana Reed and her co-worker who are from the University of California. And that's coming back to the nanotubes. Smart dust opportunities. Because optimal positioning of explosive dust, air explosives, formation of explosive lenses, filtration of deeply buried other such targets. Really? Microdust weaponry. A mechanical analog to machinized, pardon me, which is, my eyes are going blurry, which is distributed as an aerosol and inhaled into the lungs. Dust mechanically bores into lung tissue and executes various pathological missions. Oh my, this is biowarfare. That's biowarfare. Didn't we sign agreements to this? A wholly new class of weaponry, which is legal. See that? See that? I mean, that's chemical warfare. Just because they give it a new word, microdust, doesn't mean that it's legal. It's still chemical warfare. Chemical can be a particulate, a solid particulate. Given now too soon. GD data transfers, rates, optical comms, petaflop computing. Wow. Agreed upon assumptions, combat in 2025. Proliferation of TBMs, IT, precision strike targeting. Ubiquitous microsensors. See that? Microsensors. Cameo, spoofing, robotics, biochem mutations, logistics assets, highly vulnerable in or out of theater, in and near theater, ports, airfields, possibly unusable. That's a hint. That's a hint. So airfields. Beam weapons increasingly prevalent. Oh, let's take a look at beam weapons. Here's the beam weapons. So there is a weapon system that is being used. It's like a thin pencil line. It's an actual line. I've seen a smaller one coming from a neighbor's location when I was in Alabama, right across the street that was... So we got telemedicine sensors. This is smart tech inside the human body. I mean, this is unbelievable. Here we go. Another link to a video I did. Invisible wireless brain implants for FDA trials in 2022. There are 3 versions designed to be invisible in X-ray and MRI scans too. I mean, this just gets worse and worse and worse. Back to the document that's telling us what they're doing to us, what they planned 25 years ago. Look at this. Cruise missiles, current status. Look at this. Beam weapons increasingly prevalent. Cruise missiles. EMP. Net. Info. Net. Psi warfare. Miniature brilliant sensor. Mini combos. Fuel, air dust, and thermobarics. Radio frequency. RF. Chemical, bio. Antifungals. Antifauna. Strained bond energy release. Carbon fibers and blades. Acoustics. Acoustic weapon systems. Look at that. Anti-personnel, MF, RF weaponry, heating, high-powered requirements, surface effects, brain interconnections, low-frequency modulation. Oh, what is that? Well, that's electromagnetic radiation. That's microwave. That's microwave transmissions. Wow. Effects of low-power microwave vs. U.S. Army. Behavioral performance decrements, seizures, gross alteration in brain function, 30% to 100% increase in blood flow, lethal. Wow, right? Wow, just look at that. Here we go. Microwatts per square centimeter, 0.4 to 3 gigahertz, millimeter wave, and brain function. Often fingerprintless bioarchipelago. What is that archipelago? What is that? Archipelago. Bacterial viruses, prions, i.e., we know of a TI with prions. Parasites, fungi, carcinogens, toxins, hormones, regulators, fatal to disabling, shortening to long-term scales, anti-floral fauna. This is interesting. BW. Wow. Okay, so we're at page 53, 54. This is all the stuff that we've been talking about. We're in like a battle. This is crazy. Apparently legal. What is apparently legal? Look at that. Microwave, radio frequency, anti-functional, and anti-personnel weaponry. Chemical anti-functional weaponry. Chemical psychological effects via sensory organs weaponry. Chemical personnel incapacitation weaponry. Non-warfare, hostage terrorists only. Psy-war. Acoustic weaponry. Mechanical microdust. This stuff is still, to me, it still falls along the line of chemical warfare, dust. Future of non-nuclear explosives for volumetric weapons of mass effect. Fuel, bond, high energy density materials. Wow. UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles. Current capacity. And this is 25 years ago, so their capacity is way better. Look at this. ISR, smart dust explosive. Target, explode, hazmat trucks, chemical plants, oil storage, refineries, biodispensers, anti-people things plants. Brilliant miniature sensor mine combos. Wow. Blast wave accelerator, global precision strike on the cheap. Wow. 12-turn spiral, gyrating on radius at 9 hertz. Wow. Precision strike. The year targeting connectivity, military overhead systems, ubiquitous commercial overhead systems, scientific overhead, micro nanostats, optical comm, GPS, UAV, hail. What's hail? Adjuncts. Wow. I mean, just look at this. What are we dealing with here? Potential competitor military surveillance, intelligence targeting, damage assessment, utilizing of international scientific global change program assets. Here we go. Wow. Bio-nano upon future warfare. Mini micro nanostats cruise UAVs. Well, that's what we're dealing with. Is a lot of unmanned aerial vehicles. Smart mines. Robotics in large. My eyes are going blurry. I have to get off this phone. Unattended. Air, sea, land. UAVs, UUVs, UGVs. Wow. Oh my gosh. Emerging characteristics of robotic systems, enabling ongoing IT revolution. This is all about merging man with machine, i.e. the biodigital convergence, non-explosive warfare, sensors. For page 75, I'm not going to go through this because my eyes are just blurred from getting brutalized from the phone. The links will be in the description box. Please go through this and please explore this document on your own. Upload it to your site. Talk about it. Explore it. And everybody needs to know. It's just real. I mean, this is from 25 years ago by NASA. Later.